Israel is calling for the evacuation of all citizens to leave Gaza City. They've been dropping these leaflets from planes above, urging people to flee right now. They're giving them 24 hours. But as you just heard, Hamas is telling the Palestinians to stay in their homes and not go anywhere. Joining me right now is Nebraska Congressman Don Bacon. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee and a retired Air Force Brigadier General. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. Assess the situation for us.
Well, the situation is 1,200 Israelis were killed. I think 27 Americans is the count that I have. If you put that in per capita terms, that's like 30 to 40,000 Americans. So this has been devastating to Israel. We have to destroy Hamas. Hamas would kill every Israeli, every Jewish person they could. Fact is, they kill every American they could too. And so Israel has to go in and destroy Hamas. And we can't forget, Hamas couldn't do any of this without Iran. Iran arms them, funds them, and this would never have happened without Iran's support. And I believe Netanyahu, the prime minister, will keep that in mind because he's not going to let Iran off the hook on this either.
So let's talk a bit about that, because there are worries that there could be regional actors trying to get involved as well. What are your thoughts in terms of the Hezbollah component of this? And is Iran also arming Hezbollah? Where are they getting the money to have all of this weaponry? There was a story in the Journal this week about the Hamas terrorists riding in crypto.
Right. Well, the Hamas and Hezbollah are very well funded, mainly through Iran. It's interesting. You know, the Hezbollah are primarily Shia Muslim, and they're clearly terrorists. They control southern Lebanon. The Hamas are Sunni, but to the Iranians, it doesn't matter. They support whomever they can that will go after Israel or the United States. And so the weapons, the money, even the leadership are all heavily Iranian influenced and run. They have the Iranians have like their agents in Hamas and in Hezbollah. They have an organization called the IRGC that pretty much controls southern Lebanon and the part of Syria that borders Israel there. And they're also operating out of Hamas. So, yes, the Hezbollah, they're a threat to Israel, maybe even a bigger threat to Hamas, frankly, when it comes to the size and the amount of weaponry they have. So Israel, you know, they're surrounded by threats. And it's our goal and our role to help Israel prevail in this.
In the meantime, the former leader of Hamas is calling on Muslims everywhere to create a global day of jihad today. On this Friday the 13th, they're urging Muslims across the world to protest Israel today. Big cities like Washington, New York, Los Angeles are increasing police patrols as a result of this. And the FBI is urging the public to, quote, remain vigilant, also saying that they do not currently have any specific intelligence on the planning of a potential attack. Congressman, how should we view this?
Well, I think we should be vigilant. I walked into the Capitol today for your show this morning. You could see heightened security around the Capitol already. The fact is, what the Hamas did to Israel, they would do that in Washington, D.C. or New York or anywhere. So we have to be vigilant. There's bad people out there. What we saw on, September 11th in 2001, that's not an anomaly. There's people that hate us and would be willing to do as much damage and kill as many people as they possibly can if they were given that ability. So we have to be vigilant. We need a good intelligence operations. We got to have a good military that can respond quickly. And that's just the facts of life that we live in.
Yeah, we also need leadership within the House, Congressman. Where does this stand, the need for the Speaker? Now we know that Steve Scalise is dropping out. He doesn't have the votes.
It's very maddening for me. We had 4% of the Republicans undermined Speaker McCarthy, who, by the way, was the coach. He was one who gave the House the majority, and 8 Republicans sunk him, which is terrible. Now Steve Scalise won the vote 2 days ago. And then we had like 5 people stood up yesterday, said they refused to vote for him because they supported another candidate, even though Steve Scalise won the election, the internal election. So what you basically have is a small group of folks who are saying, we don't care what the rest of the conference, the 95% believe in. We are going to demand that the whole conference, the 100%, do what the 5% wants. And I don't think we should be held captive to these people. I supported Kevin McCarthy. I supported Steve Scalise. I would have voted for Jim Jordan if he would have won the election. You can't give in to 5 to 10 people who are demanding what they want. Anyway.
Well, which is why that rule will likely be changed. By the way, Kevin McCarthy is just back from Israel. He was in Israel just a couple of weeks ago, which is why he put on a 5-point plan for this administration to follow. Number 1 being rescue those American hostages. Congressman, thank you. Don Bacon with us.